to show you a little bit of this gorgeous cloth that came with the Forager's Daughter tarot deck. Hi there, this is Alice from Which Way Wellness, and I wanted to show you a little tour of a deck that just arrived today that I'm really looking forward to working with this one. It's going to be really wonderful. It is the Forager's Daughter Tarot, and it is by Jessica Leigh Howard. So I found this. I was actually looking for cloths for wrapping my cards in and I came across this great cloth, and then I realized that there was also a deck, and love things that go with the natural world, and plus the really pretty styling from Art Nouveau style has always been really very interesting for me. And this is the cover of the guidebook. So it's actually really quite pretty. Even though like the colors are a little on the softer side, I like the way the line work makes them pop out a little bit, so you can still see all the neat details. The deck itself is a really nice weight. So with the cardstock, it's not too thin, but it's not so thick that it's going to make it really hard to shuffle or hold on to. It also has this really pretty gilded kind of rose gold coppery edging all the way around the cards. The back of the card has some flowers and looks like moth, like lace wings on there. And yeah, let's take a look. Yep, came in a nice box. Although a lot of times with these boxes, I don't tend to I store the box somewhere else, because if I'm regularly going to use the cards, getting them in and out of the box on a regular basis, I find that very frustrating. That's not what I want to do. So we'll just go through. Oh, this is neat. I didn't even realize this at first. So the color changes with each of the suits. So if you can see this, the majors are this lovely kind of purpley, dusty purple color. So here's our Fool with the egg and the chrysalis and the roots, which is really pretty. The Cups is blue, and I love, wow, that's really cool. The Ace of Cups, and I like that it has both the card name, and then it's got a little thing up here for what the suit. They're really pretty, like the vibrant flowers, cute little tortoises here with our cup in the middle that's flowing over. And I like the way like the light here really like emphasizes down like in toward the cups, and then you've got the light down here for your little turtles or tortoises. These look like snapping turtles. They have the little stripes on them. Maybe red-eared sliders, I think is what they are. And then one of my favorite woodland animals is a squirrel, if you can't tell. That's Two of Pentacles. Where's my Ace of Pentacles? So Ace of Pentacles, but the Two of Pentacles, so I guess we'll show this one, is this little squirrel that's balancing on top of the pentacles, on top of the little stones. So, which is pretty typical for squirrels, because that's just how they roll. And then our swords is this great kind of muted yellow color, and I also like in the ace that there's a moon in each of these. Our Ace of Swords, and there's a little bird's nest up here in the hilt, and then plus you have like the wreath, the laurel here, but then the moon in the center, and And then lastly, our wands. So we have our sticks. And this one has, looks like an ivy with berries, maybe a spider web, and a moon again. So, yeah, that's really cool. I wasn't even aware that that's what that was going to be, but I kind of like that, because sometimes I will actually break cards into, you know, their suits, and I want to work with them that way for particular, like if I'm studying something. So it's nice to be able to do that relatively quickly. Plus, I'm sure it'll look really neat once it's all shuffled. It'll be kind of rainbowy, which will be fun. So I thought you could take a little look through these, at least through the majors. I don't know if I'm gonna go through every single one of these, but the Fool, I like this one with the sense of potential and opportunity, like the cycle. Things are just getting started. And ooh, this is really cool. The Magician has a moth and stones and tadpoles. There's a lot of energy. It's like the tadpoles are swimming to the edge to check out this moth. And the moth is like displaying, like, look at my wings. And a High Priestess is, we have an owl. So this is similar to the drawing that's on the guidebook. So the owl, but then with a crow and or raven, the triple moon sign. And so it's like very evocative of that sense of mastery of the unconscious. Oh, and our Empress. So we've got a rabbit, a hare, and laying in some plants, and there's roses, and I'm not sure if that's an egg or a sun. Could be both. Could be a window. Who knows? But it has like this. I like the shape here. There's a lot of this mirroring with this oval shape in it. So, and our Emperor, ooh, it says a mighty stag who is standing on the edge of these great rocks that look a little bit like agates, kind of overlooking a river. And there's just, yeah, there's this sense of just, ta-da, here we are, checking this out. Our Hierophant, oh, how funny, is a little toad or a frog. I don't really know the difference between the two. I'm sure I know there is. Frogs are probably smaller, toads are bigger, maybe. And then there's some mushrooms, some toadstools, some other plants that I mean, it looks a little bit like jasmine, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. But I'll look at the guidebook and we'll check it out. But I like that. Like, toads are just like, they're so adaptable. And kind of interesting because we started off at the Fool with those tadpoles. And something grew into this guy here. And our Lovers is with dragonflies and looks like rose quartz and some, I think maybe some sweet pea or, you know, pea flowers. Maybe it's African violets. I don't know. It's a purple flower. It's really pretty. Chariot with our, so we have a nettle and migrating geese. So these are things that I find a lot even in the area that I live in California. We have geese that like to hang out in the neighboring schoolyard when they come through. My dog thinks that's fantastic. And Strength is a woodpecker. Nice. So, oh yeah, you gotta be a strong little bugger to like make all those holes. And then the other flower and plant behind looks maybe kind of like pink ladies, but I'll look, hopefully the guidebook has the names of the plants. And then we have our Hermit, which is, looks like a snail, and there's more mushrooms and a firefly or lightning bug. as that light kind of shining the way for our slow-moving hermit. And our Wheel of Fortune, which is interesting. We've got a live bird up on top and then a bird skull at the bottom. And kind of this showing the cycles of flowering and then losing leaves. So we have, looks like maybe daisies. I'm really loving all the natural elements in this. And justice is kind of interesting. So we've got another frog, and the frog is going to get eaten by a snake, and the snake's getting eaten by a coyote or fox, and then we've got mushrooms. So kind of a funny thing that I heard today, I don't remember where it was, but it was talking about how live people eat dead mushrooms, and live mushrooms eat dead people. Wow, yeah. The Hanged Man. Oh yeah, and we're back to our chrysalis. So, and the fall colors too. So it's like autumn is this really interesting time where like sometimes the leaves really hang out on trees for a long time. Like there might be windstorms, and then there's just like one that's still just hanging there. And then we have our death card with this little bird and the flowers. So even though it's dead, you know, it'll actually, through its decaying, will, you know, help fertilize the ground. And then we have this insect that I'm not familiar with. Insects are not really my thing, but I'm curious to learn more about it. And Temperance is a salamander. Cool. And then this other flower, I'm not quite sure. It does look like there's a moon too. So we have Temperance. So, we have salamanders where I live. Oh, it's a sun and a moon. Nice. And seeing how they, you know, they'll be just under rocks. You find them and then they just kind of cruise away. They're not necessarily like lizards where they sprint off. And then the devil is, we have our very wolfy looking creature. And that's interesting, there's two wands, and then I kind of like the way this crown of the plants coming and framing him out behind. And the wands, the two branches have a bunch of like little leaves getting ready to shoot out. That's really cool. And the tower is like a tree struck by lightning. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, like seeing like the fire inside. And it's, again, it's a part of the cycle of things that happen in nature. So as the tree decays, it becomes part of the ground, and then that helps other things grow. And there's already in this, there's little mushrooms at the bottom, and then there's like little sprouts around the base of the tree. So even though this thing is happening, there's that opportunity and potential for more. We have the star, which is our cute little cardinal. And also like the compass. See the compass rose in there. So this one's kind of reminding me of like springtime, early spring, very, very early spring, where we start really seeing how little glimpses that the days are going to get a bit longer. It's maybe not going to be so cold. If you're somewhere where it snows, maybe it'll stop snowing. So it's that sign of the hope for things to come. In the moon, cool catfish, and some datura, and some shells. So there's a lot of like this, I don't know, you can't, like with catfish are one of those funny things where they're kind of creepy looking. So they're a little, makes you kind of a little uncertain where they are. And they're a lot of times kind of in murky areas. So engaging with that energy. Some people are really into it. Some people are not. Personally, I'm okay with it. And then this one, the sun. Ooh, with ladybugs. Oh, these are so cute. I love ladybugs. They're really cute. And our sun and our plants. And they're just so happy. They're great to have. So that way your vegetables don't get all eaten up with aphids. And then we have our Judgment. We have, it looks like a quartz crystal and maybe some rose hips and a knot. Maybe this is a robin. Yeah, maybe. So depending on where you live, you may or may not have the rose hips very regularly, but it's like that. It's kind of like it. We've got the two sides of the robin facing different directions. And then lastly, we have the world. So we have, there's little fish down below. I like how it's showing like this whole like ecosystem. So you've got the fish and the plants and stones, and then what's, you know, kind of emulating a tree and into the sun and the birds up above. It's kind of showing this whole things being in harmony, but also acknowledging how much of the cycle of things and how they work. And there's big fish and little fish. They look kind of like they're rainbow trout. And just a last little bit here, I thought I'd share with you one of the pages from one of the cards that we looked at. So within the book, our Ace of Cups, we have our little turtles down at the bottom. There's like a pond, and then the cup with the water flowing, and our moon at the top. And I really like the way that this page is broken down here. There's different sections, little like keywords for the meanings, and you know, it's talks to you kind of about like the overall like imagery of it. So kind of breaking down the little pieces of the card. And then there's a section called Compass that's talking about like the direction. What part of the journey are you on? And then Reflection. So that's giving some opportunities to be able to, if you're into journaling or things like that, kind of come up with some ideas for things that you might want to pay attention to. And I also like too, like it talks about the card position if you do it upright or you read reversals. And then it also connects to, tells you what the flowers are. These are daylilies, painted box turtle. Okay. And then the chalice, the cup. So it's just really nice, and it's very clearly written. And as you, oh, that's kind of cool. As you flip through the book too, I just realized this. So, this little moon. So as you flip through, you're going to come to different cards that will also have other potential moon phases associated with them. So that is really interesting. It looks like it's just on the minors. It's not on the majors. Let's see. There was one I was looking. I'm looking for plants here. Oh, yeah. That's a cicada. Should have known that after seeing photos of them so much this year, but alas, I did not. And I was gonna see if is there anything else that I was like, I didn't know what that. I know there was one. Oh, this one, the clematis flower. Our progress in reaching for goals. So definitely worth checking this one out. But like I said, I found this one on Etsy, and this is all Jessica Leigh Howard.